What's going on, y'all? Welcome back for another great episode. Today I'm going to be joined by my good buddy, Mr. Aron Prevost. He's out of Louisiana. This is a really awesome episode. Aron is really fortunate. He does a lot of out of state trips here in the past few years, and the guy's super successful. And I think we can accredit it from how hard it is to hunt where he lives in Louisiana and taking the same mindset from what he's learned in Louisiana and applying it to the Midwest. And we get into some great conversation about really like separating sign from daylight activity to like really finding that sign that you need to be hunting to to catch a buck moving during daylight. So we break down a lot of that stuff, and then Aron's got a really good mindset for just persevering and being just an all around good person. So really enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys do too. Also, I have a little announcement real quick before we get into today's episode. I do have some sweatshirts. I got some nice, really, really nice hoodies, and I got a restock of some t-shirts. So if you guys are interested, PM me, send me a message. I'd be happy to get them out to you. I'll get some pricing together here soon, but I believe we're going to do $60 for the hoodies and 25 shipped for the shirts. I got to see what the pricing is going to be for shipping these hoodies, and I'll work on that this week for y'all. But let me know. I appreciate all of you guys and all your support. I know I've had a few of you reach out and do some pre-orders. We've also got some stickers. If you guys are interested, if you want some stickers, just message me. They're real cheap, and we got some big ones made up and some 2-inch and 5-inch stickers. So I want to give all of our sponsors a huge shout out to make this episode possible for you. ICO Gear. Make sure you use code RUNGUN20 at checkout and save 20%. Painted Arrow Outdoors. Make sure you use code RUNANDGUN15 at checkout. Save 15%. Lone Wolf Custom Gear and Timberwolf Supply Company. Little announcement for Timberwolf. They are going to be consigning here. So I think everything is 50% off right now. Make sure you message them. Get some before they're gone. I think, unfortunately, they're not going to be restocking. So I love their stuff. I'm going to be sure to grab some. So make sure you do too. Today's quote of the week is from Tony Robbins. I really like this one, and it's short and sweet and to the point. Tony says, "Where focus goes, energy flows." Hope that you guys enjoy that one. It's definitely the truth. Let's get into today's episode with my good buddy Aron.
I believe that's cost me some success in the woods at some point too. Like focusing so much on trying to kill a deer to show other people that I can do
Yeah,
it. Because like the mindset thing and that what I've been posting about for the past year, it just changed, man.
yeah.
I just had some field experience to go with it. But once the mindset shift happened, whenever I gave my life to God, and He just changed everything for me, man.
So what's going on, Aron? Pleasure to have you, buddy.
Hey, man, it's nice to finally talk to you.
I know, right? We've been
Yeah,
like pen pals online for years now, and it's like
yeah, yep.
I'm proud of you, man. Like you're doing a
Thank
lot
you.
recently. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, you've got a lot going on right now, and we had our good mutual friend Seth. Unfortunately, he had passed away this year.
Yeah, man.
And I really, really respect and love what you're doing, with the Nomad Way, with your channel and your content. And you just get after it, man. Like you're a mobile hunter. We got a lot of really good discussion tonight to talk about. So
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
would love for you to kind of maybe start off a little bit with your background and how you got into hunting and kind of maybe touch on how the Nomad Way was founded.
Okay. So I've been predominantly hunting public land probably ever since I was a kid. Dad didn't grow up with a lot of money. He was like a first generation hunter, but he got his teeth kicked in and he'd get after it. You know what I mean? He just, learning public land on his own. And then as I grew up, started taking me rifle hunting and stuff like that. Squirrel hunting was a huge thing for me probably early on in my hunting career because I believe that teaches you like a lot of woodsmanship, in particularly about feed trees. And that's why I post about them so much. Um, but every winter we'd probably go grind 2 weeks every year for our rut here in Louisiana, pretty close to my house. Our rut's in January, so
That's wild.
we'd
That's
post
pretty
stuff
cool.
from it's cool, man. You could chase ruts pretty much the whole season here in Louisiana. Starting all the way back to September, actually, believe it or not. We can get into that, but yeah, man, grew up public land hunting. Kind of fell off in my teenage years whenever I started driving, and then probably around 17, 17 years old. I got back into at least rifle hunting once or twice a year. And then I want to say when I was about 21 years old, my buddies invited me on this bow hunting trip. And I was like, dude, I don't have a bow. My dad had one in his garage, and we're about the same height. I was like, dude, but my dad got one. Like, I could borrow it. I think he just shoots that thing in the yard because he was never really a bow hunter either.
Okay.
Uh, I went and grabbed that thing. We went on that trip, and it was the first time I'd ever traveled anywhere outside of, the piece that I grew up on. We went to North Louisiana where it's a little bit better hunting. And seeing deer from the stand. I'm watching all the guys shoot their bows at the camp, and it just like grabbed me.
Yeah.
So then after that, I got obsessed with shooting. That following season, I was like, all right, like next year, like I'm gonna bow hunt, dude. Like I want to
Right.
try this.
Start
And
taking it more serious.
yeah, man, just he let me keep that bow and wouldn't get it set up for me. I was up there hunting. That thing was not set up for me at all. It was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Like, thank God a deer didn't come by. Dude, it's crazy. But from going to that to now, you know what I mean? The growth. And I'd have to attribute that to like hunting down here is probably why it helps me be successful out of state. But yeah, man, after that, the bow hunt thing just really from for the past okay, I'm sorry. I was probably 20 because I've been bow hunting for about 5 years now.
Okay.
Um
Yeah.
yeah,
And
this
how
is
old are you,
be
man?
my
I don't even know
sixth
how
year.
old you are, but
I'm turning 30 on the 29th.
okay. That's awesome.
Yep. So yeah, pretty much kind of how it went after that, man. I didn't get my first kill until the second season of bow hunting. I think back in those days, I was probably still hunting a lot. I probably made 70 something sits, man. Like that first season bow hunting on public land, I didn't kill a deer, you
Wow,
know?
man.
So getting your teeth
Are the
kicked in like
numbers real
that,
low there or what?
yeah, very low.
Yeah. I got you.
I'm not gonna say very low. It's just it depends on where you're at. The piece of public that I was on, it's really declined over the last couple of years. I grinded like the piece by my house, like really hard, and that was really it. If I'd have ventured out, I might have gotten a kill that season. Got a little bit luckier. Um, the second the second season, the pieces of public that run along the Mississippi River and the Atchafalaya River branches off of the Mississippi River before it dumps down into the Gulf. When the Atchafalaya River floods by me, it'll start to flood these woods and it starts to concentrate, the low deer density. Um, I had always heard of guys like hunting in the water. And I was like, I don't understand that. You know what I mean? So, it got higher and higher and higher into the woods that I was hunting. And then all of a sudden, dude, like I'm seeing like 13, 14 deer hunt, which is astronomical numbers for a sit in Louisiana. So then it was my first time ever going into the woods, and I was like, I'm just gonna set up by this water and I'm gonna see what happens. And then I watched a group of deer come out of that water, and I saw them go to we call them ridges, but they're like 4 foot elevation changes in the
Okay.
woods. And
Yeah.
in between them, we call it a slough. It'll hold water. Some of those have acorn producing oaks on them, so they came out of the water. They went to one ridge. I guess they didn't. It's hard for you to navigate the land whenever the woods are flooded. I guess they didn't really know where they wanted to go, so they got back into the water and did like this J hook onto this ridge. And I was like, okay, I just watched what they did. Like I was putting it together as I was sitting there. So the next day I
Hmm.
moved. Same group of deer came out. Boom, got the first bow kill, and it was game over for me after that. I was like, it clicked. Like what you got to do as a bow hunter to get deer close to you. And the ball started rolling after that, man. I started going out of state, applying kind of the things that I learned. I was listening to all the YouTube and podcasts that you can possibly listen to here I am now, you know,
Yeah. And
posting my
this
own
really like
content.
started about
You know,
what, like 5 years ago for you when you really like hit you hard and you started soaking it in?
it clicked. It clicked 5 years ago. Yeah. So then we get to this point now where I kind of dabbled my foot in posting and stuff like that. And then I was like, I don't want to do it because I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the year. Like I'm not gonna have content for the rest of the year. When in actuality, like you just gotta post stuff.
Right. Right.
Dabbled in it. called it off, started filming, didn't film, like went on an out of state trip. That was the first time I was going to film everything. And then it came to like crunch time of killing a deer. I'm like 6 days in and I'm not on deer. I'm like, I'm done like coping this filming stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Uh, but then this year, at the beginning of the year, I just started posting like fitness content every day. And, that showed me like, oh, okay, like you just have to post to get better at doing it over time. And then oddly out of nowhere, the local bow shop, Lafayette Shooters, like offered to pro staff me. And they were like, well, you need to separate, like, because I was doing, I don't know, 30,000 views pretty much across all platforms, like every month, just from posting every day. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that they just, like, there's nobody around here that, like, really posts content, like, every day. And I guess they saw, like, the volume that I was posting. And my buddy Gavin kind of threw a word in there because they asked him, like, hey, who would probably be a good guy? Because I didn't have any real hunting content on any of my platforms at this
Yeah.
point. You know, it's probably about April, and so I'm talking to the manager of the store, and he was like, oh, shout out to Gavin McGee for that. He was like, you got to separate it. So then I go home that night, came in here, sat down right here, and I just kind of prayed on it. Like, I don't know what to name this page. I don't know what to do with it, what the plan's gonna be. And then for some reason, I was like, well, the content needs to be like how I hunt, you know, obviously mobile like everybody else. And it just clicked. I was like, man, Nomad. Like that was his nickname, you know? So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, Nomad. And then I went like read everything I could about the word nomad. And it was just, you know, you're a meanderer. You wander a lot. You know, and I was like, well, I scout a lot more than I hunt. You know, I walk around in the woods wandering around way more than I hunt, you know, and I was like, dude, the nomad way. And I cried, you know, because I believe, you know, I sat there, I sat here and prayed on it, you know what I mean? And I got an answered prayer within 2 seconds, you know?
Yeah.
So um
Just came right to you.
after that, yeah, birth came right to me. And dude, I can't think of a better way to kind of honor Seth, you know what I mean? Because he's been on me about content for so long. Because I think whenever he met me in person, I taught him a lot, like things that like he was a great whitetail hunter, you know what I mean? But I was I think he saw my aggression when it came to scouting. You know how much area I could cover in a matter of a couple hours, and I think he took to that, you know, and that's why he had been on. So he respected me as a whitetail hunter, you know, the first time that we had met, and he had been on me about posting content, so he'd be happy, you know,
Yeah.
and that was the biggest
No.
thing for me. I was like, if I can honor him this way, then and I keep that the root, I think I'm gonna keep the ball rolling, you know.
Yeah, man. No, I love what you're doing. Like, dude, you're an amazing content creator. You really are. Uh,
Oh, thank you, bro.
some of the no, like dead serious. I'm not just saying that. Some of the stuff you do, man, I'm like, Nate just inspires me too to like step my game up with stuff.
Appreciate it.
It's
That's all I
it's
want.
really hard. It's really hard, dude. Like to like juggle everything. I know
It
you're a
is.
dad as well, aren't you? Yeah. So I mean, being a father, staying in the gym, and like you kind of touched on it, but you didn't. I mean, Aaron is like a badass. He actually does coaching, um, does
Yeah.
really good fitness content, inspires me to push myself in the gym, and like just I believe some of your outdoor content, man. Like you kind of sell yourself short. It's incredible some of the stuff
Really?
you got going on. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. No, I mean that.
Thanks.
Um, but yeah,
Thanks.
so make sure you guys go in there and or you're following along on his journey with everything. And not to mention you're a killer. That's why we got you on tonight. So
I try. You
but
know,
oh yeah.
I get in them. You know what I mean? I'm not always
Yeah.
as successful, but time.
Oh
It's
no.
always timing for me. It's always
We're our own
timing,
worst
man.
critics too, man. I mean, I feel the same way and
Oh yeah,
people are
no
like,
doubt.
"Man, you're a killer." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't feel like a killer."
Oh, dude, I'll tell
You
you
know.
that all. I'll tell you that all day long, bro. You're a killer, bro.
I appreciate it, man. No, it's good to stay humble too, you know. I like that about people.
You got to.
One thing I don't respect is some of these guys that kill some good deer and they walk around with their chest poking out like there's somebody. It's like, dude,
Yeah, it blows my.
we all do this because we love it. Like that's what it's really all about at the end of the day. Is like I don't do it for posting content. I don't do it for the likes. It's like if the whole world, went to an end, man, like you could find me in the woods, supplying food for the family and taking care of my own. But I just do, man. And like here, moving out to Iowa, it's just been like just honestly magical, dude. It's like a dream come
I bet
true.
it
It's like
is.
I literally got to pinch
Yeah,
myself. Like this morning, like just incredible. Today is November 5th while we're recording this, guys, and it's my favorite day to hunt
prime time.
ever. It is.
Yeah, it's prime
I've
time.
killed
It's prime
I've killed
time.
most of my deer on like November 4th or 5th. It's just for me, it's like when I really get after them and I get dialed in on what I'm doing. And right now, I feel like I'm hunting a ghost a little bit. Like I got one really big deer that
Oh
I'm
yeah,
after, and I have not seen him in a while, but I'm having a ton of fun doing it instead of just complaining about this or that. Like the old me would have been a little bit like, oh, no, man. Like I'm so blessed to be out here in Iowa doing and be off work and
that's
having
right.
the wife happy when I get home. So yeah,
I
man.
think we all kind of grow out of that discouragement thing sooner or later. You know what I mean? Because like at some point you realize how much that influences your decision making in the hunt. Like, dude,
Right.
you're still hunting him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You let that discouragement start settling in on you, bro. It just get everything just compounds after that. It gets worse. You start messing up, hanging your lock on. Like it comes down to the small stuff. You start
It
clanking
does.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I hung a set in a locust tree for the first time the other day. And normally I would be
Yeah,
like super
that's
pissy about it.
crazy.
Normally I'd be like, like, but like, dude, I got up there and I was stoked with that setup. I was like, I cannot wait to
It
hop
was
in this thing in
sick.
the morning.
It was money too.
It
I mean, it
was,
showed
dude.
this morning
And
on your
with the
story.
thermals, oh my God, like I couldn't believe I didn't get
Yeah,
busted like at all. I'm like, this is
yeah.
incredible. I'm just dropping
One of
milkweed
those
and I'm
sets,
like,
bro.
I'm just waiting to get busted, and nothing got me. I'm like, this is
No,
badass. I can't believe I got in
yeah,
clean
that's where
either.
it's at.
Like, yeah, I was like, dude, if you can get in clean, you're set. And we had good winds, so it got me in nice and clean this morning. But yeah, enough about that stuff. I didn't kill a deer today,
That's all
but
right.
I could have killed a couple. It was a great
Oh
day in
yeah,
the
you could have
woods. To
smashed
be
if you wanted
continued.
to. I mean,
Yeah,
you got a target burn, you got a goal, you got to stick to it.
yeah, absolutely, man. That's what I love. I try to push that for all of our listeners. It's like, set your goals, set them high. I mean, you're at least going to fall short, but make sure you're having fun. That's what I
Yeah,
try to preach.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's really what it's all about. But I mean, so for you, when did you really like get into hunting out of state, man? Break that down for me.
Man, I talked about it like even after that second year of bow hunting, but I'd have to say like my job that I was doing before I kind of quit in June absolutely like let me do that. You know what I mean? So I was working turnarounds in the refineries and so I worked like 8 months out of the year. But I'd be working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Like I made a lot of quick money throughout the year. And I would take off from October 29th, usually until about January 15th. I'd go back to work, which kind of sucked because it gets really good back home around that time frame. But
Okay.
I'd usually have one down or have a couple deer down. Uh, I was always satisfied with my seasons. So I was cool with it.
Hmm.
Um, so we're just sitting at work one day, like in September, and my best friend John Toledo, Chip. I would have to recommend you have him on. He doesn't post, man, but he has 100% groomed me into the hunter that I am because he's just been after it since he was like 17 with really strictly public land bow hunting. Very
Hmm.
smartest woodsman I know, smartest deer hunter I personally know. Um,
It's awesome. I was going to
but
ask you if you had
he'd
like
be a
a
good guy for
mentor,
you.
or like a good friend that was kind of
Yeah,
helping you in the beginning. Yeah. Sweet.
yeah, man. It'd be my boy Chip. It'd be my boy Chip, John Toledo. He is an absolute killer.
That's awesome,
The
man.
definition of it. But me and him been talking about it forever, and we're like, dude, let's go to Illinois. Like we
Yeah.
finally did it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Then he ended up backing out that year. I went up, and he had never hunted out of state before either. I think besides like Georgia, some family land that he has, but never the Midwest. So and I went, and I got pretty close. I saw a lot of big deer, and I came back with that report, and I was like, dude, like you don't understand. Like we have to go. So the following year we went. I think that was 2022. Yeah, it's 2022. First year we bought e-bikes. I promise you, well, yeah, the first 2 days that we had been up there, we didn't even hang a set. We just scouted, and we put 104 miles on those e-bikes in 2 days. That
Dang.
was not counting how much we walked. Oh yeah, bro. And that's like my main tactic to public land whenever I go out of state. It is, I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if I have food on me. I don't care if I don't have water on me. Like I am going cover ground like nobody's business. And I'm gonna walk
Yeah.
past 20 trail cameras and I'm gonna
Right.
go figure out where is the freshest sign. Because I don't want to hunt stuff that's 2 weeks old. I don't want to hunt stuff that I think is nighttime. Like you got a lot of stuff to rule out, if you have this short window. But we were going up there for 12 to 13 days at a time, on the first 2 weeks in November usually. And
Hmm.
we played with the time frames that we'd go. I tried to hit the late October thing, tried to hit the first week in November, tried to hit the second week in November. Uh, Weather was always kind of a limiting factor for us. Like we'd get a north wind, cold front for like 5 days, and that's usually whenever me or him would kill. But on the hot days, we would
It's
scout
slow.
or
Yeah.
yeah, it's slow. Well, we learned that on those hot days, like if you've done enough scouting and you're on fresh sign, like it has to be fresh sign that's like, for me in particular, what I always targeted on the hot days was some red oaks, very close to thickets, very close to bedding.
Okay.
And that usually produced, and it's usually deer 30, whenever you're seeing deer or the first, 45 minutes of, sunrise, but at least you get some action. Because if you
Hmm.
were kind of hunting, a funnel, a funnel out in big woods or, a pinch point somewhere is in between a field or something like that, you know what I mean? Like the activity was just super dead. So we were just like, man, we gotta get up on bedding, you know? So that was probably something that we learned in the Midwest that we actually apply here now. And we're starting to get bigger deer on camera.
That's cool.
Because
That's
down
awesome.
here, like our standards would be, if you could shoot a 3.5-year-old 100 inch, if you could shoot a 3.5-year-old 100 inch deer, like, dude, you're with a bow on public land, like, dude, you're a killer,
Okay.
So
That
going out of
was
state,
one of my questions I had for you. Like, what's the caliber of deer you're looking for, in Louisiana?
uh, me now, I say 130s,
That's great. That's
130s, and
awesome,
I'm
man.
I'm I'm happy with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Bobby,
a
the one
great
that I
deer
sent you pictures of,
anywhere.
yeah, bro, yeah, that's what I said. Um, that's not common, but in the past 2 years, me and Chip have been grinding on certain pieces of public that I would say, um, you know, I heard this on another podcast one time. Like, if you can drive somewhere, like if you have public land by your house and it's not that good, or if you know of another piece of public land that is good, but it's 2 hours away, but you're gonna sit less, but you can start hunting that piece of public that is good consecutively every year. Why wouldn't you just make that drive and go start collecting that data? Yeah, dude, you might not kill on it you might not kill on it that first season, right? But the more time that you get to put in over there where you are putting yourself in a position for good deer, your chances, your mathematical statistic go up in your killing, right?
Hmm.
Or at least
Absolutely.
getting in
Yeah.
position for it. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah.
So I started doing that 3 seasons ago. I don't hunt by my house at all. Like the closest piece of public that I hunt to me now is 2 hours away. And I
Wow.
have to. But
Dang.
now,
Yeah.
yeah, now after 3 seasons of doing that, I'm on deer. I'm on deer that I would shoot out of state consistently.
Yeah.
And that's not
That's awesome, man.
that's
Yeah.
not common here. That's not common here at all.
Yeah. When you
Um,
do like when you're traveling that far to hunt, are you gonna like stay there overnight so you don't have to like drive back home and
yeah.
drive back in the morning?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I would do like
Sweet.
some 4 day benders, three, four
Yeah.
day benders and come home.
Yeah. No,
Um,
that's smart. I think that's great, man.
yeah, yeah.
And you're dedicating your
But
time smart and you're learning and like adjusting properly. I mean, I think it takes a couple days a lot of times to like kind of hone in on something like, okay, yeah, I know I'm in a good area, but then you hunt it and you're like, all right, I need to be over here and just working your way through it and then come back when the
yeah.
weather's right.
Yeah, man, if I sit in a tree, yeah, if I sit in a tree and I don't see deer, bro, A, like if it's a new area that you scouted. If I sit in a tree and I don't see a deer, like, A, I'm either doing something wrong in this particular spot or I'm not in them.
Hmm.
And to me, if you're not in them, you're way out of them. That's something that Chip taught me a long time ago, especially for the rut.
Right.
Like if you're sitting in a tree and you're not seeing deer, you're way out of them. You gotta do some scouting. You got some work to do.
Hmm.
And that's really how we treat it in the Midwest. And I think that's why we get in them or we kill 'em. Either
Right.
one or the other.
So you like going out of state. I imagine in my head, I'm thinking like, you're probably really, really good at hunting like swamp and like water features and stuff like that. Like you understand that really well. Is that is that kind of the stuff that you
I
look
need
for?
changes in habitat.
Okay. Is that I
I
was
need
gonna ask because
diversity.
for me,
Yeah.
when I go hunt out
Yeah.
of state, I purposefully try to like put myself out of my comfort zone so I can get a little bit better hunting new terrain. Like last year I went to Missouri and hunted CRP and I got my ass kicked
Saw
most of
that.
the yeah, it was like but I
Yeah.
finally at the end of the trip I got on them. The weather really wasn't the best neither, but
Yeah, that doesn't help.
like it was definitely a huge learning curve. And then finally by the time I wrapped my hands around like what I needed to be doing, the weather went to crap like big time. Like it went to like 80
Yeah, that's
degrees and it wasn't going to come down. So I was like, like I planned on coming back, but it just
I'm
didn't
out.
work out, man. Yeah, yeah. But I got some great intel. I got some great pins for the future, and now I'm not near as far
That's some
away from
history.
there. So yeah, if I
Yeah,
wasn't hunting
exactly, bro.
Kansas
You got
this
some
year,
history.
exactly. So I'm stoked to get back in there and really put in some work and narrow down one of these Missouri bucks because
Yeah,
the
man,
one I
don't be
had
afraid
near
to
me
take that
was a brute. What's that?
yeah. I said don't
Yeah,
be afraid to
he
take
was.
that trip in March, bro, and go scout
Yeah,
it in
no,
March.
one hundred
Don't be
percent.
afraid of
That's what I
that,
was
bro.
trying to do.
That's where it's
We
at.
we
Yeah.
pushed too far away. I drove from Kentucky. It was probably like 6 or 7 hours away. So
That's
like
not terrible.
it's not terrible, but like one of one of my downsides is like if I got a tag in Kentucky, like I'm not leaving Kentucky till I fill my tag. And then unfortunately last year it was
No,
just
I
late.
feel that.
Yeah, it was just late and man, I grinded all through last season and I'm super thankful that I tagged a buck, but it was just like I had been
That's
putting
the
in
best
way too
ones.
much time and I couldn't bring myself to be like, "Hey babe, I'm going to go to Missouri for like 4 days."
And scout
It just
and
yeah,
scout. Yeah.
yeah. And then like
Yeah.
with us trying to sell the house, there was all this stuff. I had a ton of work to do at our place but yeah, but now I'm finally settled in. I'm ready to put in some work this off season, man, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. That and you're getting plenty of data where you're living at now. You know what I mean? Like you seem
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
you got it pretty peg
It's
already, off
it's
the rip.
pretty like I don't mean to sound this way, but like
Downplay it.
it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Like I've like scratched the surface and I'm like all over them and I'm like, "Oh my god. Can't wait to see what the future holds."
You see why the real addicts move there. Everybody that's a
100%.
true addict, bro. I'm not gonna say true. Well, I guess I'd say true addict. Like, bro, they move there.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well, I mean,
mean?
I grew up like
They
on the
convince
East
the wife.
Coast. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
grew up on the East
yeah,
Coast, moved to
yeah.
Kentucky, and Kentucky just didn't like it didn't do it for me. And there were some
That's
circumstances and
crazy.
like the family, it just
Yeah,
I don't know, man. God works in mysterious ways, but I'm super thankful for my wife. She's actually the one that like inspired it. And I'm like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "We ain't moving." Like we
don't tempt me.
yeah, and then like after last season, she's like, "I think we should move before like all this happens and that happens." Like, so I was
Yeah,
like, all right, we're out. I'm fine. Let's
yeah,
go. Whatever. We don't have
yeah,
anything
yeah.
holding
Let's
us
go.
here.
I'm there.
Life's for
Yeah.
living, man. Yeah. So no, really
No, and
thankful. Everything's working out good with the family here, and the people here are amazing. So I was incredible,
yeah,
man.
dude.
There's more
I can see that
southern,
for your life, bro.
yeah. There's like more southern
That's the
hospitality
place for you.
here. It is. It is. It's crazy that like people are more nice here than Kentucky, which blew my mind.
Dang, that's pretty good. Because people in Kentucky they're pretty good to me, man. Whenever I go up,
Yeah.
they're nice.
No, most of them
Um,
are. I just feel like a lot of people where we were at in Kentucky were just kind of like not all of them. I made some incredible friends there,
yeah,
but like I just feel like it's kind of like hopeless. Like there's just I don't know, man. A lot of people there are just kind of like miserable, which is like I'm not trying to like talk smack about Kentucky people, but just maybe it was just our town where we lived at. There's just like, why would you move
Yeah,
here?
maybe.
What? I'm like, well, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's kind of how it
So
is in my state, bro. That's how it is.
yeah.
And
So
the thing down here,
go ahead, go
it
ahead. I didn't
could
mean to
be,
cut you off.
no, it's okay. It could be incredible here. Like, I'm not joking. Like, there's some deer that are killed on private grounds here that are managed and stuff like that. That, I mean, they'll blow your mind, man. Like, insanely good deer. 170s, 180s,
Wow.
because
Yeah.
the soil's very nutrient, man, because of the river systems. And
Right.
all the private grounds that run along the Mississippi River, they produce absolute, like, real giants. And
Absolutely.
the
I've
rest of the
noticed it.
state could be that way.
Yeah, I've noticed
But
it. I mean, even like the Delta, like in Mississippi, is insane.
yeah, bro, you see Bowman's videos, you know what I mean? Levi.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude,
Yeah,
that's some good deer that he cranks over there, bro. And he don't even go there
absolutely.
long, He
No.
goes there on
Uh-uh.
short trips and cranks,
He's an
And
exception, man. That dude's wild. I mean,
I
it's
am
pretty
in the
impressive.
last 2 years, dude, I have really fell in love with his YouTube videos. I watch every
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, it's like to see the shots that he pulls off.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, come on, man. I mean, he is
Well,
like one
yeah,
of
I
the
know.
best.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
incredible to see it though.
But yeah, yeah. It's
I
like,
see him do that. I'm like,
whew,
bro, no way.
yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's impressive, but it's like that man don't miss, You wonder how
he
many
don't, bro,
thousands of
and he
arrows.
smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he pinwheels
but
them. And then on video, you're like, dang, like how did he do
yeah,
that? Like that. I'm the one I'm
yeah,
thinking of is like the swamp shot where you're like, you just see that arrow
yeah,
just
bro.
disappear in the frame and just come back in. It's like, oh
That's ignorant. But
yeah,
then we also get 6 tags a year.
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, we get six
That's
tags
cool.
a year here. 3 bucks and 3 does.
There you
Uh,
go.
not because the density supports it, bro.
No, really,
Like
that's
that's just
crazy,
because
man.
it's a killing
Yeah,
culture. It's a killing
yeah,
culture down here. And guys get those 6 tags and they're like, I am filling every one of these,
yeah. I get it.
no matter what. So they shoot
I
the
get
first
it.
thing they see. So, because I mean, dude, if you implement like just say a one buck and 2 does, the guy's gonna think about the buck that he shoots.
Hmm.
At minimum, he'll push it to, a 2.5 year old. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think it would make guys think, and then also like there's really no habitat like management here. I hunt pretty much all the way up to like central Louisiana, which is the pine woods. So they log that, but as far as these, hardwood bottom pieces of public, like dude, they don't touch them. They don't touch them. They don't log them. A lot of them don't have the habitat that they could have because it doesn't get any sunlight. So it doesn't make any thickets. So you don't really have bedding. Um,
You
like
got
here,
like
bro, you have to walk everything.
palmettos. You got like palmettos and stuff.
Yeah,
Do they bed around that?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they do that's the other thing about like I only know of one guy and it's Gavin, the one that got me pro staffed. He is the only guy that I've ever seen, you know, get data on a buck and get pictures of him in his bed. But dude, he might be in that bed every 20 days, because
Wow.
these bucks they just
Okay.
get up, dude. They might have yeah, they do. They might have 30 different beds, man. They might have 30 different beds. And like as far as trying to walk in the woods and bumping them, you know what I mean? You can't walk through those palmettos and not make a sound and creep up on them, you know what I mean? But especially with the amount of acorn trees you got and the sea of palmettos, they can bed anywhere they want, stand up in their bed, eat, lay back down. The
Hmm.
only thing that we ever get going for us is the rut. We have to depend solely on the rut. And that's kind of that's why it's tough down here. And then the numbers don't support it either. So that's why whenever we venture out west, it's like a playing field, man.
All right.
We just
Yeah.
apply the same amount of
Talk to
energy.
me about that. Like, what have you taken from like your knowledge of trees and stuff, down there to like the Midwest? Like, what are the similarities? Of, like, what are you doing to be successful? When you're in the Midwest from Louisiana.
So the I think you had liked one of my pictures earlier. You must want to check out the page, but it's that chocolate horn 8 point. like that was my second year in Illinois, and I was hunting some hills. That was, and mind you, like I'm going out there and I'm trying to learn hills. But I'm also applying like my knowledge of flat woods, reading trees and reading sign to the hills and learning the thermals and, leeward sides of ridges, how bucks kind of set up on them, how deer navigate in them and all that, all at the same time as while I'm trying to find a spot for me to get on some deer. But that buck, like I could tell you from here, I probably walked like 2 or 3 miles worth of big woods that day, and there was this one ridge in particular that was just, it was like a oak ridge. Like everything else around it had like low canopy, shrubs and cover. Um, I wish I could tell you like the vegetation it was, but whenever I go out of state, I don't really take the time to learn the different
Right.
types of vegetation that grow in it.
Yeah.
I just know
I got you.
it's thick. It's like shoulder height on a deer, and I know that they're going to be willing to be in it. I know that bucks are going to be willing to be in it. There's like 3 ridges deep, and I got past the second one, and I just look and I see just a sea of red oaks on top of this thing. And I was like, okay, I could go up there and probably find a high feed tree. And then on the where the ridge fed to was a pretty big thicket. And all I knew was I just scouted through that whole ridge. They had a little rub line on it. And I was like, all right, they're cruising it. You know what I mean? If you got like a southwest wind, they're gonna cruise this red oak ridge. They got does that might come out of that bedding and come eat on it. Um, So I scouted that, and it was pretty much the first feed tree off of that thicket that was high. There was like out of say 25 red oaks that were on top of this ridge, there's one tree that they're gonna eat at, and it's gonna be absolutely. It's like that video I made the other day. It's gonna be absolute, like you're gonna know it. Um, However, I usually use like the freshness of deer droppings to kind of tell me if a feed tree is active, and also reading the scrapes around it in the rut. Now, mind you, there is a point where they do pretty much abandon scrapes, so they start getting leaves in them. But if you show
Hmm.
up on a feed tree and it's got open scrapes on it, that's pretty much guaranteed daylight activity that you're gonna have.
Yeah.
Well, if it's close to me, if it's close to cover. Um, the buck that
So
I
that's
shot
kind of what you're
this
looking
past
for.
weekend,
Great
yeah,
cover, good food, like close to
yeah.
both, and good access for you, I guess, to
I'm
get in
walking in the
between.
wood. Yeah, if you got big woods that are open, I'm walking in that until I find something different. I don't
Okay.
care how many miles I gotta walk. I'm
Yeah.
walking until I find something different, and I'm gonna go look at what is different, cover, thickets, whatever it is, and see if I'm seeing activity of deer, trails, just something that shows me that I can read that okay, deer are probably on this type of transition. And if you got thousands of acres of big woods and you only got one type of habitat that is different, 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to be on deer. Even better if you get 3 different types of habitat kind of converging together. And then what I try to figure out from there is like how are these deer using it, where are they coming out from, and then usually I'm trying to find a feed tree in close proximity to that.
Right.
I'm not that good at,
Dynamite.
you know yeah, dynamite, bro, you know what I mean.
No, I'm on the same page
And
with you,
then
man. That's
once
sweet.
you kind yeah, on- once you kind of locate the feed trees, you find which one's hot, and that's picking it apart after that, and you know it whenever you see it, man. And I'm gonna be honest, it's not that often that you like find one. Out of the whole hunting season, I might find like 3 feed trees that I got to hunt on that produced me some daylight activity. It might be 3 or 4 times, man. It's not every time I go in the woods.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Yeah, it takes time to find those spots.
I
I
drop.
think a lot of people struggle with that too. Is like, how do I find the
They
feed
do.
tree? It's like if you find it, you'll know it because there'll be poop everywhere and
Yeah,
it'll
bro.
look like a bunch of turkeys went through it, pretty much. But it's not turkeys.
Yeah, and if you walk quiet enough, you might bump deer. You might bump deer off of it in the middle of the day.
Hmm.
That's the biggest thing. Like I've watched, like during the rut in Illinois, I've watched deer come out of thickets, and come eat on them at 11 o'clock and go back
Yeah.
into bed. You know,
Yeah.
until they finally come out for the afternoon. They eat at that feed tree, and then they go meander wherever they go and meander all night long. But
Yeah.
it's guaranteed. It to me, a high feed tree close to bedding is guaranteed daylight, and it just matters if you got a doe. Now it just matters if you got a hot doe or one that's coming in the heat, and you got bucks in the area. and the
Yeah.
scrapes are going to tell you that. Okay, I got
Yep.
bucks in the area. I just need a hot doe now, and that's what
Absolutely, man.
happened with that one. You like that picture on earlier.
Yeah.
Um,
Where did you
yeah, that's
kill
kind
your
of what I'm
most
looking for,
recent
man. I'm
buck
looking
at?
West Kentucky,
Nice.
on probably the hardest piece of public land that I've hunted, even
Awesome.
even in comparison to here, because
Yeah.
of how big it is and nothing is different.
Yeah.
There's like, I'm not gonna say
No
nothing is
diversity.
different. So no, and I'll probably put some people on with this. Kind of sucks, but I'll give some tips. What I found recently in the past, like what me and Chip has found recently in the last 3 seasons was I really like hunting up against water, like lakes
Hmm.
or a river, like whatever you want to use, right? And one, you can very much so manipulate thermals and wind. Well, mainly thermals. You still kind of need the wind to hunt in the spots, but it is very good if you can find some like, and I'm talking. This is a rare scenario to come across, but if you find it, it's probably going to produce for you. Um, so where this buck was, you have a cove of a lake, which usually causes different type of habitat. You're going to get some vegetation growing. You're going to get some thicker cover. Your feed trees are going to produce pretty good because of close to water, so the soil is going to be nutrient. Um, so yeah, cove of a lake, open bottom, very different compared to the thousands of acres of hardwoods that are around me, which are also just straight up park woods. Like it
Hmm.
gets no sunlight, so there's nothing growing on either sides of the ridge. The ridge that gets beat down with the sun or not, deer can see you from a mile away. So everything that they do is wind based. And being that there's this huge body of water around it, it makes the thermals do absolutely atrocious things. It didn't matter what wind you have, like in the afternoons, it would just, you drop milkweed and it's just gonna suck up a draw. And that's how I noticed a lot of the deer that I was hunting bedded. And I was like, dude, I don't like live here. And I ran into this local one time that he'd been hunting there for like 15 years. And he was just like, dude, the only way for you to know that you can hunt these spots in the big woods, like without something different or trying to play off of an ag field or something like that, is you got to come up in here in March and throw smoke bombs in these draws and just watch what it does. And I was like, dude, I can't do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm not driving 9 hours. Like I'm just not doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
so I just took what I had over 4 seasons and I applied it. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stick to like this Lake Cove thing, and it's gonna work. And last year I marked a hot feed tree in a thermal hub. And so you have this bottom, north side of the bottom was a thermal hub that dumped down, and then you had an adjacent ridge that ran north and south, east and west. So last year I had walked all around this whole cove and this big, it's a gigantic bottom, but I walked the whole thing and I marked every rub and every scrape that I had found. Kind of figured like a lot of that stuff was at nighttime, but I never went down into the bottom. The only time I dropped down into the bottom was to go into the center of the hub to see if like there was a scrape there or something like that that would indicate to me that, you know, probably got a big, like, to me, 3.5-year-olds are better going to use hubs, the way that they want to manipulate them, right? Um, so then this year, whenever I got up there, it was raining the first day. And that was whenever I was scouting. So I was like, all right, that's kind of perfect for me to kind of go into that bottom and scout it. So I went in the bottom, scouted it, and it was loaded with scrapes. And I was like,
I
okay,
figured. Yeah.
this is gonna be like I could see some daytime activity in here.
Hmm.
Next morning, well, I bow hunted some other spots the next day because I was waiting on the cold front to push through, and I was gonna get a consistent wind because I was gonna go hunt the hub. And the third ridge, the furthest south ridge that dumped into the hub, you pretty much had the lake cove behind it. And every time I've ever had the wind set up on other pieces of public too, if you set up on the ridge that's kind of closest to the cove, you drop milkweed and you could watch it go down the bottom and then it just hooks into the lake, like no matter what. So it just hooks. It'll come off of you and it's just going to get sucked up into the lake.
Hmm.
So I had that to my advantage. And I've even like gone and I preach hard about the wind, but I've even gone into spots with like the wrong wind just to hunt a lake cove. And like you try to minimize like how much you potentially bust out with your wind. So I try to access with like me walking in towards the lake, So as I'm walking in, at least my wind's getting sucked in and going into the lake versus walking through the woods and blowing anything that's potentially still up on their feet.
No, that's really
So
smart.
I waited till opening. Yeah, I waited till opening day. I went down there and I walk in. I don't speak in absolutes or anything like that. I think there's nuances to everything, especially when it comes to deer hunting. I don't think there's any absolutes with any of these deer. I think they do what they want. But I walk in with a red light, and from my experience, I don't booger deer. I walk up on deer often with a red light on my head, and in particular, I use a Peaks. I
Okay.
really thoroughly believe in this thing. It is the brightest red light that I've found, and it was designed by a guy that's like backcountry elk hunter. So I get into the bottom, and there's those that are already bedded. I was like, awesome situation. November 1st, I got does bedded by me. I'm good. I get halfway through the bottom to get to that knob, that bottom of the ridge that I wanted to hunt, and I see a light flashing behind me. So I'm like in the middle of dancing around these does that are kind of looking at me, and I'm trying to skate past them, and I got a guy coming in behind me. Well, I start flashbanging him, and he finally got the message once he kind of got down low, and I guess he moved off. Well, it's like gray light at this point. I was like, I'm not gonna make it all the way to the side that I want to hunt, so I just set up and I just kind of watched the bottom for the first 2 hours in the morning. And once the wind picked up, I was like, all right, I can move into the hub now because I was
Hmm.
gonna hunt all day.
Yeah.
Um, I took 4 or 5 steps and I see a deer underneath that feed tree that I'd marked the year before that. And then the more I look, I just see tines dancing. So I was like, all right. I was already out in the open and I was trying to creep to a tree that I can get behind for a little bit, maybe grunt, make some noise racket at him. And he busted me the second I moved. So he bounded up the ridge. I was like, man, I'm gonna post up all day. Still posted up. I filter deer pretty much all day long. And filter deer coming out of the bottom, come eat at that feed tree, they go back and it was a good hunt. And I was like, all right, I'm just come back in here tomorrow because I didn't booger nothing. No deer blew at me. I didn't pressure it up. Felt like I did all right with my access. Like I'm good to come in here again. Set up the next day, didn't see a deer. It's like 10:40, 10:35, didn't see a deer. I was like, man, I'm getting down. Got down, messing with some of my stuff, and I looked up where he ran off at for some reason, and he's coming down. He didn't come down to the bottom of the draw. He didn't cross the head of the draw like everybody says that's how they travel. No, he came down the middle of the ridge and he was gonna go back up the middle of the ridge. The most resistance that he was gonna have. And I just
Right.
saw tines on the other side. And then he stepped out and I cranked,
Heck yeah.
and that was it.
That's
But
awesome, dude.
whenever I went sit down with him, I was thinking of all the times I've heard on like podcasts and I'm not gonna ruffle feathers. This is just what I've experienced. I was sitting down with him and I just looked at my phone and I was like, dude, he was crossing the hardest part of these bridges. He didn't go to the head of the draw, which is where I was packing up to leave is where I was going. That's where I was going to sit. I was going to go sit the head of that draw, so my wind dumped over me and just sucked down the ridge and went into the lake. Like I was going to sit up high so I could watch.
Are these big
And
ridges or not that big? I
500
mean,
foot, 500 foot,
okay. Yeah, that's
500
decent.
foot, you know,
Yeah.
five,
I
it's
mean,
decent.
I mean, dude, deer like that live in that though. I mean, that ain't nothing
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
whitetail,
It's nothing to them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I imagine
I
it
don't know.
applies more. I imagine that like that head of a draw or like a bench, stuff like that applies more whenever you get in like some pretty like real rugged, like bluff type
Yeah,
terrain. From what I've kind
yeah,
of seen, I guess, because the hills in Illinois that I hunt, they're a little bit bigger than that, but I've never hunted hills bigger than that because I'm intimidated. You
right.
know, I don't live
Yeah,
in that stuff. I really wish I did because I like that hill country stuff
yeah,
like a
yeah.
lot.
I always wanted to go out. Speaking of Seth, I always wanted to go hook up with him and go to like do a West Virginia hunt because I went out to Eastern Kentucky and I did elk hunt. I drew an elk tag when I lived in Kentucky.
Okay. Okay.
And you talk about smoked, dude. Oh my God. I could barely make it up the stairs on day 2. Like my legs were
Oh, bro,
so
yeah, you
shot.
you gotta.
Oh,
That's some
it,
men that hunting that, bro.
it is. And I'll tell
That's
you right
some
now, Aaron,
they some
they,
men.
dude, they had these bucks there were so they shredded up trees. I swear I was looking at elk rubs. They were whitetail rubs. Like I'm talking giants. There was big deer out there. And I'm like, dude,
Dang.
I've got
Yeah,
to
they
get
grow
out
old.
here. They do. Yeah. Cause
It's a
I don't
different.
think many people are really chasing them that hard out there. You know, maybe during rifle season or
Nah,
something
yeah,
like
you're
that,
right.
but probably not with the bow. I
Yeah,
don't think, I think you're an anomaly out there if you're bow hunting deer and that kind of
yeah,
stuff and doing that.
yeah, probably so.
But I'm thankful for it. It really humbled me for my elk hunt when I went out to Idaho because I was like, dude, like you have got to get in better shape. Like it all, that's really when my fitness journey like really started. Like from that point forward, I
Good.
just was like, you know what? Like there's times in life where you're like, never again. Like I learned from that and I ain't doing it again. And I just stuck
Yeah,
with it, man. Like I always go through these like ebbs and flows with fitness, but I think I'm proud of myself. Like this year, especially, like I've really knuckled down. I've stayed in good shape, probably the best shape of my life. Haven't been to the gym in 2 weeks. Don't hurt me.
it's okay. Yeah, bro.
But
No, I missed
it's
all week
time to
too.
hunt right now. I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
dude. No,
whatever.
no, no,
I'll
no,
get
no, no,
back
no,
in
no.
there.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
tags to fill right now,
yeah,
and I'm getting after them.
yeah.
So
I mean, dude, you're getting a high step count and stuff like that. And like to me, it's like an 80-20 lifestyle, man. If you could be consistent like 80% of the time, that makes up for that 20% that like, okay, I'm not gonna make it to the gym. My diet's not gonna be that clean, but I'm about to be
yeah,
walking a lot. You know what I
drinking
mean? Like I'm
Taco
about to
Bell,
be stepping
Baja
a lot.
Blast right now.
Yeah, Mountain Dew. Yeah, bro. But that's how I look at it. Like if I'm consistent mostly throughout the year, like it's gonna carry over on these rut trips and these out of state trips that I go on, because you're not
Absolutely,
going to
man.
the gym. But he does it. I don't know what's up with him, bro. He
Yeah,
during the rut,
he,
this dude's on Instagram lifting
yeah,
weights at 3 o'clock in the morning and then going
yeah,
bang it out in the stand all day. And I'm like, dude, I don't have like even me, I don't have the mental capacity to like want to do that.
no, me
Like
neither.
I'm cooked whenever I get out the woods.
That's right.
Like this
Same,
dude's like
same.
day 13 of rut. Yeah, they say, yeah. Nah, I really like Cody though. I like Cody's content a lot. I could say listening to him, um, is kind of what shaped our attitudes towards like scouting and being mobile and like who cares if you bump it? Like who cares? Like if you do the work, you can go get on another deer. And when I started looking at things that way, my aggression for scouting just skyrocketed because it's like,
Skyrocketing. Yeah.
yeah, dude, like if you walk enough, you're gonna find something. You know
Yeah.
what I
I
mean?
take it for granted, man, like how much I've learned from him over the past like 5 years or so, I guess. Just kind of mind blowing, like how much my hunting has changed as far as like my mindset. And, that's one thing I was really like interested to ask you. I feel like, I don't know you that well, but I feel like you've got a really good mindset as far as life and fitness and the outdoors and like when did that really start for you, man? Like and how did that come about?
That's a good question, bro. Oh, that's a really good question. Honestly, Jay, like, so I dropped out of high school, man, and
Yeah.
when I was in 10th grade, yeah, and I went to military school, and I just got instilled like this structure type lifestyle that like I took to, and then along with that, like I got to learn at a really young age that like doing something hard is good for you. Like doing something that sucks is so good for you because it starts like spilling over in other places.
Mhm.
So I guess whenever 'cause I was into bow hunting way before I got into fitness, and I just knew like because I mentioned like I picked up this bow hunting thing like in my adulthood, and I had been missing like something like that in my life for like a 4 or 5 years time span, and I was just like, man, I need something to be passionate about. I need something to drive towards, and I just need something like for my life. You know what I mean? Because I mean, you think about it, like whenever you're a kid, you're playing sports, you're competitive, you have that in your life. Or it could be anything. Like you could be a musician whenever you're a kid. You could be learning piano. You might be a mathematical genius. You might practice math all the time. You have something that you're practicing at that could potentially be kicking your butt. But no matter what, you're persevering and you're going through these things, and that applies in your life in the real world. You know.
100%.
So whenever
Yeah.
I picked up the bow thing, I was just like, man, like I can see where this is really hard to do, to get deer close to you. Like you have to pick a specific tree. Like, dude, the more you think about it, dude, a boat kill, period, is a miracle. Like, dude, just going out and killing a
Yeah,
doe. Like, dude,
I guess we
stars
take
have
it for granted. Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
stars have to align, bro. Stars have to align for that to happen. The arrow has to fly right. You can't hit a twig in the middle of the arrow flight.
Yeah, like
It's
what goes
hard to do.
into, yeah,
So I took,
especially going somewhere that you've never stepped foot on and you're like, I think that's a good
yeah,
tree.
that's yeah,
I
different
think I
animal.
need to be
Yeah,
right like within an inch of this spot right here. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do. Okay, yeah, and a deer that I've never even seen in my life is just gonna, I can just see this happening in my
yeah.
head. Like we're sick, we really are.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
our
yeah, 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 yeah.
methodical calculations that go on in our head to like, out of all the hundreds of thousands of trees in these woods, and I'm gonna pick the one that
Yeah.
I actually can kill a deer at 15 yards. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, and
it's insane. So I
yeah,
was like, man, that's really hard, you know. And I took to that, and then once my son was born, like I just really applied myself to bow hunting for those first couple of years, and then my son was born, and that's when I was like, because at this point I'm pretty much a functioning alcoholic at this point. Like we're getting into my life now, but basically like a functioning alcoholic at this point. I was like, okay, like he can't figure out that that's what I am one day, you know. I don't want to be that example. Started to change that, got into the health and fitness thing, and then I guess that just kind of kick-started this whole deal with me needing something hard in my life to shape me into a better man every day. You know, something that I can apply myself to. I need goals. I need discipline. I need to do these things to keep going. And then in the midst of that last year, well, year before last, my brother-in-law just like discipled to me about Jesus because I didn't have God in my life at all. And I was doing all these things, man. I was excelling in my career. I was 25 years old as a project manager. I'm starting to kill deer with a bow. You know, I'm starting to see real good results in the gym. And I'm like doing all these things and like all of a sudden like building like this pride and ego around it. You know, my brother-in-law just pulled me to the side one day and I would show that I was like working towards these things, like blatantly on purpose, like out of
mhm,
vanity.
yeah,
And my brother-in-law just pulled me to the side one day and he was just like, dude, you like have nothing to prove to nobody. And that's when that just struck me. And I was just like, okay, I'm doing all these things, but like, I'm an ugly person, man. Like I have no faith in God. I have, what am I even doing this for? For the approval of the world,
right,
is really what it come down to.
yeah,
And, I believe that's cost me like, some success in the woods at some point too. Like focusing so much on trying to kill a deer to show other people that I can do
yeah,
it.
right,
Because like the mindset thing and that what I've been posting about for the past year, it just changed, man.
yeah,
Uh, I just had some field experience to go with it, you know. But once the mindset shift happened, whenever I gave my life to God, and He just changed everything for me, man. And Seth talked to me about it a lot. You know what I mean? And he's like,
I
dude,
know
like
he was a
every,
really spiritual guy too.
oh yeah, bro. He was just like, dude, everything in the woods happens to you because of God. Like the reason why you even want to go to the woods is because that's where God created you in the wilderness and then placed you in the garden of work. And I was like, yo, that's why I long to go so bad. You know what I mean? Like during off season, like in June, I like feel it in my veins. I'm like, dude, I really like need to go sit in a tree. Like I
Uh huh.
need it, you know? And that's when it changed for me that I'm doing this because I genuinely love it. And I do the gym because I genuinely love it. And I pursue my marriage at full force because I genuinely love it. And I want other guys to feel that way. Like John Dudley was saying in that thing you just shared, bro, like
I was
picking
waiting
up a
for,
bow and
yeah, like that's why I said, I'm
bro,
like, dude, this,
bro,
like, God, that hit me so hard. I'm
this,
like,
dude, yeah, that's
I
it.
mean, I like never thought about it that way, but like, I mean, I've been very fortunate to do podcasts, for a while, even like on other people's podcasts. And they're like, what was one of your life lessons you've learned? I'm like, how much time do you have? Like, I literally could go all day with the lessons that I've learned from life and in the
Yeah,
wilderness, man, like, and bow hunting in
that's
general.
right.
Just so,
Dude, getting your
yeah,
teeth
without,
kicked in all the time.
yeah. Yeah.
all the
You
time,
talk
man.
about being persistent and just like, I remember when I got started, man, like my mom was like, why are you still doing this to yourself? Like, what is it? She's like, cause I was just wounding deer, man. I'm like, I'm just a
Yeah,
glutton for punishment. And she's like, why? Like, what is it? Like, and I'm like, I can't explain it to you, but it is just this, there's a hook in me and
yeah,
I have to conquer this setback. Like it's what it is. It's just
yes.
part of growth. And I'm
Like
like,
I have this roadblock and I gotta go.
yeah, I got obsessed with just personal growth. And I didn't even know that's what it was really about, but it was just about me
That's right, man.
separating from my friends that I had in Maryland that were party animals to just like, you know what, man, like I'm good. Like I'm gonna go hunt tomorrow. Oh, you too good for this? You too good? No, like you just don't get it. Like I'm passionate about something and like
Yeah, man.
I love that more than this, you know?
Yeah.
So
Like
it
I'm
was
sorry
like
you don't
pretty
have that in your
simple.
life, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And they,
yeah.
dude, and like a lot of my friends are in the same boat as when I left and they're like, well, you know, like they would talk smack on me, and now it's like, and I'm not trying to say that to brag. It's just like I'm so thankful
No,
that
look
I
at what
have
it's
this.
become. Look
Yeah,
at what it's
it's
become.
crazy. I
You know,
literally got to like
it's
take a look
insane.
back. It's like, yeah, it really is, man. And I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't be outdoors. So I didn't expect this to go this way, but I'm really glad we're having this conversation because honestly, man, this is what I do my podcast for is for the mindset of I love talking tactics. Obviously, like we all love it, but like I really like
Yeah, man.
getting I
There's
like getting
plenty of
the
that all over YouTube, bro.
right. I like getting the guy behind the bow and like your
Yeah.
story and what's made you the person that you are and how the woods has helped you with that. So no, I love it, man.
I'd have to say it's bow hunting, bro. I'd have to say it's 100% like my hardest, like my saddest moments and my most angry moments and like just the toughest moments that I've had were in the woods, bow hunting,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially like those first 2 seasons. Oh,
And the
I forgot to mention like the second season when I finally got a bow kill, the bow kill was on February 13th.
wow.
So I
Grinded
sat,
all
yeah,
season
that's
long.
like, dude, I think I was probably just probably 130 sits, bro, and not killing a deer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's wild,
close to it.
man.
Cause I was averaging the last like 5 seasons, 6 seasons, I've averaged anywhere like minimum 70 something sits in a tree.
It's
You
wild to
know,
me out
that's a
here how
lot.
many people have an appreciation for like East Coast hunters and Southern hunters are like, dude, you really got to
Yeah,
love hunting to be an obsessed
yeah,
bow hunter in down south or on the
yeah,
East Coast where they're just not as big a
yeah,
deer. And I'm like,
dude.
I was
Ah,
like, can you imagine how I feel right now? Like I'm in heaven right now. Like this is just
yeah.
insane. Like, and they're like, oh man,
Dude,
like,
I like figuring them
yeah.
out, bro.
Oh, same, dude.
I like
Like
figuring them out.
I told a
Yeah, I
buddy the
like
other day,
figuring
I
them
was like,
out.
I enjoy scouting more than I enjoy hunting. Like when the tag's
Ain't no
filled,
doubt.
I'm like, oh, like, they're like, why didn't you shoot that
Dang
deer?
it.
I'm like, dude, it is what it is. It's my tag, man. Like you worry about yourself, you know. Like I'm out here to enjoy myself, whatever, man. I don't want it to just go out and be over like that. Like I don't. I enjoy the grind,
Yeah,
but
if it
it's taken me a
happens,
long time
so
to get
be it
there.
sometimes. But
Right, right,
oh yeah, bro. I told
yeah,
that to Chip. Like I told him that on the phone on the way home because he cranked a probably about 130-inch deer Friday afternoon, the day before I shot
sweet,
my buck, and
nice.
back home, on some public land, and I was
Hmm.
just like, Chip, like between last season and this season, no matter where we put cameras, whether it was out of state, back home in Louisiana, and whatever piece of public that we were hunting at the time, like no matter what, dude, we were getting big deer on camera in daylight, and that's very hard to do here. And I was just like, dude, I really think we're starting to see these years of experience. They're about to start coming to pass, and I think some deer are about to
Absolutely.
start falling. He's like,
Amen.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. And I said,
Uh-huh.
but it takes time to get there,
It
you
does.
know.
It does.
Like John,
I've got
John
some of my
saying that in that
buddies.
video, it's like,
Yeah. I got some
say
of
it.
my buddies that are young, a little bit younger than me, and they're just getting into out of state hunting and they're like, man, it's rough. It's so tough. It's tough. I'm like, dude, it takes years to develop what you're doing. But I was like, what you're doing right now is you're putting in the work for the future. And once you all figure it out, you're going to be like, man, this is too easy. We need something else. You know, like it's just a matter of time. Like you just got to be willing to
Yeah,
accept that.
that's right.
And I think a lot of people, especially younger generation, really wants like the instant gratification of like, oh, well, I want a big buck. I'm just going to
Oh
go to
yeah,
this state and kill it.
yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Oh,
You'll find
bro,
out.
you YouTube got their head messed up, bro.
But yeah, everybody's
YouTube got their head
expectations
messed
are
up, man.
pretty high. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I learned that whenever I started going to Kentucky for the velvet hunt. I was just like, man, they got a lot of guys out here that don't know what they're doing, but they just
Yeah.
came out here because they saw
It's
on YouTube some
Kentucky.
guy was sitting on the
Yeah.
corner. Yeah, it's Kentucky. Some dude sitting on the corner of a soybean field and cranked the buck in velvet.
I can tell you
Like
as
for
a
one,
previous resident how tough it is, dude. I mean, like
it's
I had that same
ridiculously hard.
expectation. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
ridiculously hard. You know why? Because I'm a rut hunter, and that was the first time I ever started hunting deer, like big deer, outside of the rut.
Hmm.
Usually in early season, Aaron's priorities is just to like slam a doe. You know what I mean, on
Right.
public land or
Right.
whatever. Opening day, try to get an opening day kill. When I started going up there, it was the second time I had went to Kentucky, and I went in August in class on cameras. I took it for real, and I patterned one buck. Started hunting him. Third day, I had an encounter with him, and that was the first time Aaron's got to like watch a mature buck on the hoof outside of the rut. And what Aaron learned was, whenever guys talk about that, that's a different species of animal. It really is because
Yep.
they don't miss, bro.
No.
They do not miss. They are on
Calculated.
game, and
Yep.
oh, dude,
Yeah.
it blew my mind. It
Yeah.
blew my mind,
I'm in
man.
the same
And
boat,
that's when I
man. Like,
realized, like, yeah,
yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'm finally getting to that point where I'm getting more calculated, and like, it takes a long time. I think a lot of people think it's
yeah, dude,
an
it takes
easy
time,
thing,
bro. It takes
but
time in the woods.
yeah,
It takes
and
messing up.
situations.
It takes a
Yeah,
whole lot of messing
absolutely.
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
in
if you want to be a
situations.
bow hunter, you better just get used to failure
Yeah,
because you got a lot more of it coming. I mean, well, dude,
I would have
I
to
always
say,
go ahead, go ahead.
I just want to say one thing because I was talking about this on the phone the other day. I'd have to say, and me and Drake Dearman talked about this as well. Though, if there's anybody that's new to this, apply yourself to learning scouting and being a woodsman first. Don't even worry about killing a deer. Just worry about getting on them. And then after that, start looking at it like almost like mathematics. Every 5% that you can grab from something, start grabbing it. Just take, for instance, like me driving 2 hours to go hunt instead of hunting something that's 15 minutes from my house. Like my percentage of killing or having encounters or being on deer, period, pretty much just skyrocketed. And then after that, you apply the scouting, like learning what a high feed tree is, learning what thermals are, learning what wind is. Once you start grabbing, like say thermals 5%, say wind is 5%, say setting up in a tree with cover around you so deer don't silhouette you, that's another 5%. The more times that you can grab that percentage, your ratio starts going up. And the more times, sooner or later, your good decisions add up,
Yep.
And sometimes
No, that's
it might
dynamite,
just
man.
be an encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes just the encounter, like, dude, if you put yourself in the position for the encounter, it tells you, hey, man, you're starting to get in the game. You're starting to learn, bro. You know, so that's the encouragement. Last year, I had an encounter with Bobby at 60 yards. I got in a truck and I told Chip, I said, hey, dude, if that's my season right there, I'm ecstatic that I did that because that has never happened to me on Louisiana public land. I have never figured out a deer, figured out his area, and got in a position to even see him on the hoof. That was humongous for me, bro.
Yeah.
So take your wins, you know?
That's right. And for those of you guys that don't know, I apologize, Aaron. We kind of like we got into some great stuff. Honestly, I'm super stoked with this episode.
Yeah, yeah, no
But
doubt.
we were trying to talk about this buck that he's after called Bobby. Lord willing, it's going to happen. I have faith in you.
Yeah,
I feel pretty
yeah,
confident.
man. Appreciate it.
But dude, before we get you off here, I've got 3 questions that I like to ask all of our guests towards the end. And number one, what's been your favorite broadhead that you've used over the years?
Oh man. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this beast that I'm
The
using.
Beast? Okay, sweet.
Yeah, man.
Do you
I'm gonna
got a
say this
favorite song
beast.
that you like to head to the woods to? What are you jamming to nowadays?
Drowning by Red Clay Strays.
Okay, fire. I love
Yep.
that song.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, me
And
too.
last is if you had any animal, money was not the issue here. Like budget, open budget. What would it be and where?
Nebraska velvet season whitetail.
My man. I gotta say,
Yeah,
after asking most of
that's a
our guests
bucket list
this,
for me, bro.
is it? All right. All right. That's sweet. That's sweet. Yeah. I'm looking forward to going to Nebraska. I'm only 2 hours away from there now. So it's way better than Kentucky because you know what? You can have them bugs, brother. I will tell you right now, I'm good on them.
Dude,
I'm moving forward. That was another key factor of getting out of Kentucky was escaping all the chiggers
dude,
and
I
ticks
I've come out
everywhere,
with so
literally.
much sea ticks in September, bro. When I'd go,
God.
it was ridiculous.
Oh, God. I
Yeah,
do not miss them things, man. They're a nightmare.
yeah, yeah, man.
Buddy, thank you
Hey,
so
bro, I
much for
appreciate
joining
you
me,
having me,
man.
bro. I think we got into
Oh,
some good stuff, bro.
absolutely, man. Oh, we really did. We
Yeah, man.
really did. Hey, for those of you guys listening, make sure you go over there, check out Aaron's page. I'm tagging him on Instagram, but give him a follow,
Appreciate y'all.
support him. Man, we will catch up soon. I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, man. No doubt. No doubt, bro.
See
Have
you,
a good
bud.
night. Later.